Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Ship and Read. Today I'll be doing my most anticipated releases for the first 3 months of 2022. I literally cannot believe it's already like December and 2022 is literally right around the corner, and that is kind of terrifying actually. Like, time is passing by so quickly yet so slowly. Like, it is insane. But I did narrow the months down to just a few of the books that I am extremely excited for, just so this video is not like insanely long. For January, I have 3 books I am very highly anticipating. So I do have everything in terms of chronological order, so it's by date of publication. So the first book I'm excited for is In Every Generation by Kendar Blake. This one is out on January 4th. And this is basically just a continuation of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but the next generation. So this book basically just follows the next Buffy from the original Buffy, and I am super curious as to how this will play out, because I remember back in like high school, I never watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer when I was young, by the way. I started watching it in high school for me. So it's been out for like a really long time by then, and I just like binged through a bunch of seasons because I was like, what is this series? Why is everyone still obsessed with it? I don't understand. And I started watching it, and I remember just like sitting in the library and just like watching it on my laptop, and it was an experience. So I'm super curious to see just how this will play out, and yeah, like I cannot wait for this. The next one that I am extremely excited for, plus it's a stunning cover, is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lin Tan, and this one is out on January 11th. So this is actually inspired by the legend of Chang'e, which is the moon goddess, the Chinese moon goddess, which honestly I don't really know a lot about, and I don't think I've ever really seen any adaptation for this moon goddess before, or any like sort of retelling. The only one I remember is the animated film that came out like in the last year or two. That one was like really beautiful. I really like that one, by the way. But this one, I'm super curious to see how this will be in like an adult fantasy. So I'm excited for it. I definitely cannot wait to see how, you know, the author will retell or like write this book and how this story will play out. So I'm very excited. Then this next book is The Bone Spindle by Leslie Vedder. This one is also out on January 11th. So this book is basically, as it says over here, a Sleeping Beauty meets Indiana Jones in a thrilling gender-swapped fairy tale retelling, and it's perfect for fans of Sorcery of Thrones and Curse of Dark and Lonely, which happens to be some of my favorite books. So I'm very excited for this one. It follows a girl called Fi who accidentally pricks her finger on a magical bone spindle, and now she's stuck with the spirit of Prince Brer Rose until she, as well as Shane, who is an axe wielding warrior for hire, can break the century-old curse on his kingdom. I'm super intrigued how this is. I also believe this is girl-on-girl romance, but I'm not 100% sure, but just based on the cover I feel like that's the case. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this will be, but the fact that it is perfect for fans of Sorcery of Thrones and Curse of Dark and Lonely, I'm like, sign me up please. So I'm excited for this one. So moving on to February, the first book that I'm excited for is This Woman Kingdom by Tahara Mafi. This one is out on February 1st, and honestly I don't know what this book's about, but the cover is absolutely stunning, and her books have been a must-read for me. Like, she's a must-read, must-buy author. I have really enjoyed all of her books in the past, even though she's written fantasy as well as contemporary, but they both are really good in different ways. So I have very high hopes for this one. The next one I'm excited for is House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J Maas, and this one is out on February 15. So this is the second book in the Crescent City series, and it follows Bryce and Hunter, you know, and their story. I am super excited for it because I really enjoyed Crescent City, or like the first book, House of Earth and Blood I believe, and I'm super curious to see how this next book will play out, as well as the relationship between Hunter and Bryce. There was a lot of steamy scenes in the first book, so I'm excited to like kind of see what happens in the second. Then this next book is A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, which also comes out on February 15. And honestly, if you don't know, Rebecca Ross is a must-read author for me. She has written another book that came out that I still need to read, which I haven't gotten around to, but doesn't matter. I love all her books, and this one I'm sure will be no exception. All I know is about these two childhood like enemies who somehow have to team up with each other to find these girls who have been missing. Then this next book that I'm also very excited to have a beautiful cover is A Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O, and this one is out on February 22nd. So this book basically follows a girl called Mina, where her village has been sacrificing these girls over the years to the sea in hopes of basically quelling down some of the storms because it has been insane. However, due to circumstances, she ends up as becoming one of the sacrifices. She ends up sacrificing herself actually, and she goes into the ocean and she finds out that the sea god is actually asleep, and so she tries her best right now to wake him up and hopefully stop all of these deadly storms from happening. But there are those who do not want the sea god to awaken, so I am really hyped up for this book. Like I said, the cover is absolutely stunning. I'm also super intrigued to find out like what will happen. The story sounds really promising. I love books with kind of like curse and gods and goddesses, so I feel like this will be no exception. Then this next book that I'm excited for is called Only a Monster by Vanessa Lynn, and this one is out on February 22nd. So this should have been the perfect summer for Joanne, or Joan, not sure how to pronounce that name, because she loves her nerdy summer job and the fact that her cute coworker actually just asked her out. However, everything changes when she finds out that she's actually from a family who are monsters and they have this hidden superpower, and that her super cute coworker happens to be a monster hunter. So I always love when there is some sort of relationship between like star-crossed lovers, right? Like, you know, witch and the witch hunter, the monster and the monster hunter, like what's gonna happen there, or the vampire and the vampire hunter, you know, like things like that where it doesn't seem possible but somehow it's going to be possible. So I'm intrigued to see how this story will play out. Then this last book that I'm super intrigued for is Daughters of a Dead Empire by Carolyn Tara O'Neill, and this book also comes out on February 22nd. So this is supposed to be an alternate history featuring the Russian Revolution, and the cover is stunning. I also really like books with like alternate history because I'm super curious, like what if something didn't happen, you know, back in the day? Like how would life have changed now, or just how life would have changed back then, etc. So I'm super curious to see how like this will play out. I also feel like the idea of like history and fantasy like meshing together is super appealing to me, so I'm very excited for this one. All right, moving on to March. For March, I only have 3 books that I am super hyped up for, but I am really excited for all of them. The first one, of course, is Gallant by V. Schwab. This one comes out on March 1st. So this book basically follows a girl who has never really felt at home at her current place, and one day she ends up receiving a letter telling her to go back to Gallant, which is her family home. She goes back there and finds out that no one is actually expecting her, despite that she literally got a letter from them. However, she is determined to stay because she, like, immediately when she got there, she felt at home for whatever reason, despite the fact that her cousin is acting very hostile towards her, and despite the fact that there are these kind of like ghoulish creatures lurking in the hallways that seem a bit transparent. One day she's wandering through the halls and she somehow ends up going through some sort of rift, and she finds herself on the other side where it's pretty much the same. It's Gallant, but it is not. And she finds out that these ghoulish creatures are actually solid in this area, as well as a mysterious figure who actually rules over them all. So now she's wondering what exactly is happening, something about her destiny as well. I'm super intrigued by this book because one is by V.E. Straub, and for me, her books are kind of a hit or miss. Like, I've enjoyed the Darker Shade of Magic series. Almost forgot that name for a second. I did do a whole dedicated reading vlog on, so I'll link that above and down below in case you want to check that out. I also did read Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I enjoyed as well. So like her books are like, for the most part, I enjoy, but her execution has always been like iffy. So I'm super curious to see like where this book will fall for me. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. The next one that I'm excited for is The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. This one is out on March 15th, and this is actually a thriller mystery book. Honestly, I have read 2 books by this author before, and I have absolutely adored both books. They've been so intriguing, kept me on edge, very fascinating, like super page turners, all that stuff. Perfect like mystery thriller books. So as soon as I saw that she was writing another book, I was like, I need to pick this up, and I'm very excited. So I actually don't know what this book's about, but I mean, it's a mystery thriller, so you can't really go into it knowing too much, because I've noticed that a lot of times the spoil, like the excerpt, like the summary, will spoil things. So I'm gonna go into it blind and just like see for myself, and so far it has worked really well for me in the past with this author, so I'm excited. Then this last and final book that I'm really looking forward to is A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy I. Lin, and this one is out on March 22nd. So this book follows a girl, her name is Ning, where after she accidentally poisons her mother with, you know, serving her tea, poison in a tea, and somehow that same tea is now threatening to kill her own sister. She finds out about a contest where the kingdom is looking for the greatest master of tea making, and she decides to enter because the winner can actually earn a favor from the princess, which might be the only way for her to save her sister's life. I have so many questions about this book already, just from reading the synopsis. Like, how the heck did she accidentally poison her mother, and how the heck is her sister suffering from the exact same poison? Like, was it not at the same time? Because unless it was not at the same time, I just don't understand how this happened twice. You know what I mean? Like, I am confused. Like, there's questions that I have, and I'm curious. Plus the cover is really pretty as well. So I felt like when I saw this book come out, I was like, wait, this is like super intriguing for me, and I need to know what happens next. So I definitely can't wait for this book. So anyways, those are all the books that I am looking forward to for the months of January, February, and March. Let me know down below, which of these books are you excited for? Are there any other books that you're excited for that I did not mention that I should put on my radar? But as always, if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. It really does help out my channel. And if you'd like to see more content of me, please don't hesitate to subscribe down below, as well as hit the notification bell. But as always, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!